everybody. Hope you are doing well today. We are here with Brendan Butler out of our Butler office. Joining us here today. Spring has sprung. We got leaves are popping. We had an Orioles opening day just a couple days ago. I know this will be
good W.
This will be released a little bit later, but Mr. Butler has a little bit of an Orioles connection that nobody else in this brokerage has. So I guess just give us a little bit of your background and then tell me about this Orioles connection real quick.
So born and raised in Bel Air, went to John Carroll High School. Played baseball, football in high school, and was fortunate enough to get drafted out of high school by the Orioles.
Dang! Drafted out of high school.
Yeah, drafted out of high school. Now, it was the 50th round.
What year was this? The what round?
The 50th round, and there's no longer 50 rounds, so...
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe it's not that impressive, but...
out of high school, I mean, were you it's like everybody like, oh, my gosh, he's going to the Orioles?
It was a cool experience. It was a cool experience. I would not have been a millionaire if I signed and went to the minors. That's a grind.
Okay, is that what happens? You sign, you go to the minors?
Go to the minors, yeah.
Work your way up,
which is very difficult.
I like that. Well, you've got to work your way up in life.
Yeah, so opted not to sign and then go to Towson. Go Tigers.
Tiger pride, baby. There we go. More of us.
Yep.
All right.
Played baseball at Towson. Enjoyed it.
All right.
And got out of college and got my real estate license.
So 4 years at Towson, in and out?
4 years in and out, yes.
All 4 years played baseball?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and then no drafting to the...
No drafting. I tore my labrum. Maybe that's probably not why I didn't get drafted, but...
That doesn't help, I'm sure.
It doesn't help, yeah.
Once they... Because I'm sure they analyze all your health and everything, right?
Yeah,
That's a big part of the whole process.
All right, everything happens for a reason, so...
All right, yeah. So that's very cool, fun fact, or whatever we want to call it. Drafted by the Orioles out of high school.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about their season this year.
In Baltimore, yeah, I am too. It's great. I love the hometown, like everything that's the energy that we have right now. All right, so after high school, got right into real estate then, didn't you?
Got into real estate right out of college. So actually, when I think it was a sophomore in college, my parents bought a house to renovate, and I always had a passion for real estate in college, and you always think, what are you going to do after college? So I wanted to get into real estate.
Yeah.
So they bought a house, needed renovation, so I was there pretty much every weekend while I was in college, doing some demo, paint work, learning the industry or what it takes to renovate a house. And that's really helped me, especially right out of college, getting into real estate.
Yeah. So how many years in real estate now has it been?
So going on 10 years. October 2015, so...
Started with Keller Williams, American Premier in Bel Air.
Started with Keller Williams.
Guy McAfee.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Lady.
Great. Yeah. Great training there. And then spent 2 years there and jumped over to Cummings. So been here for, seven plus years?
8 years, gotcha. And then this past year, you and your business partner and girlfriend,
Megan,
it's okay to say Megan,
yes.
she is rocking and rolling as well.
She's doing great.
You guys are a two-person team.
Yes.
And you were the number one two-person team in the brokerage.
Yeah.
And I don't exactly remember, but I remember you did like 101 units. Was that correct?
So, we did 107 units.
107 units, okay.
42-ish million between the two of us.
Is that split pretty even between the two of you?
It was 26, 15, roughly.
Something, yeah. So Megan at least over 15, and you were a little bit in the 25s, equal at 42.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That's, fantastic year. And Megan hasn't been in the business as long as you.
No, she's, I think, 4 years going on, and we've been dating about 4 years. So,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So number one two-person team, doing a lot of units, a lot of volume. That is fantastic. So, I guess just give me like a little bit of like your background of like what do you do to sort of start growing this business to where it is today? And it seems like you are like off to a great start already this year.
Yeah, well, appreciate that. There's no special sauce that I'm going to sit here and say, this is what we do, and that's how you be successful. My ultimate goal is to build a brand, and everybody has a different brand, but you need to have your personal brand.
Yeah.
And so a mentor of mine, when I first got started, told me, look, you're not going to be busy right away. No one's going to be selling hundreds of houses right away when you start off, but you need to find out how to be the expert in the community. So how many times do people come up to us say, hey, Dave, how's the market?
Yeah.
And don't say, oh, it's slow, I don't know. Just know your facts. Like, even if you're not busy, tell them what the interest rates are. Is it a buyer seller's market? How's inventory? So you need to be the go-to expert in your community.
Right.
And that's just what I try to
You're
do.
really like looking to give like an intelligent answer.
Yeah, knowledge is confidence. And starting out, maybe you're not that confident, but when you're going into a listing appointment, you need to have knowledge, and I think that builds confidence.
Yeah, gotcha. Are you pretty heavily weighted more listings and buyers, or you work both
It's about
sides?
50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you work grind it out with buyers on nights and weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's Megan and I. We don't have any kids. We have Oakley, our dog, and
Good looking dog.
We work
That's a good
our
looking
butts
dog.
off. Yeah, he's our life. But yeah, we work our butts off.
Yeah, gotcha. And then social media wise, that is something that from the beginning that you've been with me has been a very consistent thing that yourself and Megan. So I remember you telling me a while back that like you taught yourself InDesign or one of those.
Yeah,
We'll go through caveat, but what was the first program that you used to
Adobe
use?
Illustrator.
Adobe Illustrator.
And that is a complex software. And back when I probably had
That's
too
like
much
graphic designer level stuff, right?
It is, and Canva's really been a game changer. That's a lot more simple, which I like.
Sure. I just like to tell the story that like you self-taught yourself, basically a graphic designer program that is not easy, that you use to basically put just listed for sale, like on the picture, do the cutout photo of your headshot, your logo in Adobe Illustrator. So I just like the fact that you went and figured it all out. Did you take a class to figure all that out?
No, that was back when I wasn't selling 100 units a year and had a lot more time on my hands.
to do.
And my goal was to make things look professional and clean and consistent. Marketing 101 is being consistent. So, and I look at it as we're in sales, but we're really a marketing company too, because we need to get out there and market ourselves. So it's really helped.
Yeah. So you've transitioned from Adobe Illustrator to Canva.
Yes.
Which a lot of people are using.
And just
why did you make that transition?
So I think Canva. So I was using Adobe Illustrator because you could do vector, meaning you zoom in and it doesn't get blurry. But Canva you can do the same thing with that. But it's just building templates on Canva, and it's more time efficient. So I can pop it in, put up a picture in 5 minutes, and then post it.
Gotcha. I just recently interviewed Yuada. She says that she's working with the AI component within Canva.
I haven't tried that.
You haven't tried that?
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to learn and adapt. This new AI is scary. It's taking over.
Yes, yeah. But you have a lot of consistent templates, which you were. It's funny because you were doing a lot of like blue with white font. And then I've seen some other people, at different, not even just Cummings agents, but different companies kind of like starting to look a little bit like yours. So then you recently changed it and changed like some of your font style, like the lettering's a little skinnier, a little bit more modern. You added some gold, blue or yellow gold into it.
You always have to change.
Keeping it fresh.
Yeah, keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
And then you look at other agents, and sometimes, mine looks just like that. So now you got to change and make things a little different.
So you've been very consistent on your social media, and have you found that like people are reaching out because of that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to customer service, referrals. Our business is 95% referral based, and what I take pride in is treating a $200,000 sale the same as a $1.2 million sale.
Yeah,
everybody deserves the same representation. But when they see your stuff consistently posting on social media, see you out in the community, he's the go-to.
Yeah, I mean, you use your headshot in your social media marketing. You use your headshot on the sign as well. You've taken that.
Yes.
You were like one of the first people to adapt to my like larger sign option with the cutout headshot. You found value in that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to
the
building
name
a brand.
to the face kind of thing.
Yes.
Easier connection.
Yeah,
have you ever ran into people out of the grocery store, out at like a event or whatever, and be like, I drove past your sign. Like, you're that guy that's on the sign in my neighborhood.
A lot.
Have you really?
Yeah. And it goes back to like all the.
And then are you giving your car to making that connection kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. And it goes back to being nice to people. Like people want to work with somebody who they get along with, who they're likable. They're not a jerk.
Yeah.
So when you see people in the community, just be nice. I mean, that's the easiest thing you can possibly do.
Yeah.
Just be nice to people.
Yeah, gotcha. So outside of the social media, which we dug into, I appreciate your insight on that. Like, are you doing any other consistent, client touch points throughout the year or client parties throughout the year? Are you doing mailers? Are you doing Zillow? Like, what do you have multiple different avenues for trying to find the business basically?
Yeah, it's trial and error. We test and learn a lot.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We've done Realtor.com leads. We've done Zillow leads.
How'd that go?
So Realtor.com, thumbs down, in my opinion.
Okay.
I just didn't have any luck, and maybe I wasn't doing it the right way. I think there's two ways to do it. You can either be the one person who gets the lead, or there's two people who get the lead. It just didn't work out. Tested Zillow.
The one person that gets the lead is more expensive than the two people that gets the lead kind of thing? Is that how it goes? Okay, yeah.
Zillow's expensive, so I was doing Zillow a good amount for when Megan got started.
Okay. And feeding those leads to her.
Feeding those leads to Megan, and she is outstanding because the one thing, and it's not just with Zillow leads, but your follow-up. Your follow-up game needs to be on point.
Yeah.
Because those Zillow leads are not loyal to you.
Yeah.
Like a family, friends, or someone in the community you know.
Yeah.
So you got to stay on them. Mm-hmm. Not doing any Zillow right now. Trying to stay lean. The goal is to net the most money at the end of the year, so you got to look at the P&L at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And you spend a lot on those leads, and sometimes it's a break even.
Right, exactly. Just because you did X amount of business, if you spent that amount on your marketing budget, then really,
doesn't make sense, right?
Makes sense. In terms of follow up, so how are you guys tracking? Are you guys in a program, CRM, spreadsheet?
So you probably want me to say, I use this CRM, and this is the go-to thing.
Yeah.
I think the CRM that works for you is the one you use. Guess what? I use Google Sheets.
Google Sheets, all right.
There's no secret sauce with my CRM. Now I go through
and Google Sheets is basically just like a spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet, yeah. It's Excel.
Okay, you go through weekly.
I go through weekly, all my buyers and all my sellers, and I touch base with them.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, how I grow my business because I get referrals from
How do you touch base with them? Like phone call?
So, for example, I have clients mostly text. Some of the older folks like phone calls. So I always ask them up front, what's your best preferred way of communication? So I set those expectations up front.
Yeah. You set expectations on your availability and stuff?
I should set better expectations. I'm up till 11 answering phone calls.
All right.
And maybe it's not sustainable, but we don't have any kids right now.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. I enjoy what I do for a living.
So you don't get annoyed or burnt out if somebody calls you at 11?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's good. I was just interviewing you, Ada, who was just here, and you may go first because I'm trying to kind of keep the consistently, boy girl as I drop these videos or whatever. But I think in the early days of your business, you grind, and you do whatever you got to do, and then as time goes by, you can sort of layer in boundaries or things as your life changes, or Yeah,
I'm kind of a control freak, and I just think. Someone calls me at 11, it's going to be on my mind, so just get it over with. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do it at 8 a.m. in the morning anyway.
Yeah, one of the things I read recently about stress is the best way to solve stress is to take care of what's ever stressing you out.
Well, exactly. And it's good stress. It's not bad stress. I think I'm fortunate to have this problem. Yeah. Because if I don't have this problem, then I'm going to be really stressed.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, and another thing I've learned recently is if you set yourself a obviously got to be realistic, but if you set a time limit to resolve something that's stressing you out, give yourself a small window. Don't say I'll do it throughout the end of I'll do it by the end of the business day, or say I'll do it by 11 a.m. or whatever.
And I always say
if you set yourself a shorter time window to get something done, you get it done.
Yes.
And then and if you're stressed about something, get it done.
Get it done.
And then it's less stressful. I know. Because people procrastination, once you do it, you feel so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I always say, don't push off to tomorrow what can be done today. Just get it done with.
Yeah.
Keep it off your mind.
All right. So we talked a little about Google Sheets, CRM. We talked about your online leads. We talked about your social media. Any other client touch points, things you're doing, client parties, relationship building, taking people to lunches?
Just really staying active in the community.
Yeah.
Sponsoring events. One thing I do want to do is a client event party. I'm not an event planner.
Yeah.
So I haven't really done a great client event party yet, but Megan's on board. I think she would be a much better event planner than me.
Yeah.
So that's something we definitely want to do this year.
I was at a Mother's on Friday evening in Timonium with my kids and girlfriend, and Megan's
the coaster
was at
marketing, branding, impressions.
Yeah, I was impressed. I sent her a message. I saw that she had posted a picture. I think she was at a wedding, so I felt bad, but I sent her a little message
she told me. Yeah,
I was like, good job. Like I was proud of her, you know,
And it's
because I mean, she obviously knew someone or called someone and said, "Can if I make coasters, will you
She's
put them out on the
everywhere.
table?" And it was on the table, like
She's a great marketer.
and every table at the restaurant.
Yes.
So
And I'll say,
I love like the creative stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not putting it out there for everybody to go buy coasters and call your local
Right.
bar, because I know, like, you know, I don't want to. I mean, obviously others are going to see that, so it's not like a hidden thing. But I love the different creative ideas that
Yeah.
people come up with to sort of stay in front of people.
and it's not like you can quantify, oh, you're going to get X amount of business from that.
Right.
I do different avenues for marketing, and it's just impressions. They see you here, 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 and they're going to start thinking of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So client event, something you are going to potentially move into with
Definitely.
Megan's help.
definitely,
Okay.
yes.
And then I know that you've had like another team member, and then recently you added additional team members. So it's really
Tommy Vondersmith,
Yes. Tommy Vandersmith, great guy up in Bel Air.
Yeah.
Been with us for a while, and just sort of, you know, reached out to you to merge forces. So I guess just in like terms of like team, like what's your mentality on, like, you know, sort of managing Megan, managing Tom now? Like, what do you guys try to focus on and do that helps each other's businesses, I guess?
Yeah, so I think at one point I had 8 people total in the team.
Wow. Okay.
And I learned that I want to be lean and smaller so I can focus on my business, number one, and then take care of the team members as well. But I mean, it's tough because you see these other big teams, and you it's easy to say I want to be as big as and best and sell as much as they do. But then behind the scenes, you don't see what's behind the scenes. You don't see the overhead, what it takes, because we don't even have a transaction coordinator, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm in the weeds. I'm doing everything. Meg's doing everything. I think that's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
But if we want to get from 100 units in sales to 200, I don't think that's sustainable. But who knows? I just want my main goal.
Were you thinking about layering in a transaction coordinator or hiring your
I think
own
we'll
like
have to
administrative
eventually.
assistant?
But I want to do it slowly and grow slowly because I want to have 5-star customer service. I don't want to leave my clients hanging, and over communicate is my main thing with my clients.
Yeah. So there's like a balance between the team. Like sometimes I call, like, you know, I've heard people call, or I've mentioned like the core 4. It's like team leader, 2 team members, and like an administrative type
Correct.
person.
Yes.
Can really, that dynamic, you know, 3 or 4 works really well. And then when you start to get bigger, you know, not that bigger isn't better, but sometimes, yes, it's like more overhead and everything. So it's a bigger sort of monster to feed and keep everybody happy.
Correct.
And so some people can do that really well. Some people prefer, you know, do that and then scale back down. So that's kind of where you are. So you're maybe layering the next sort of person. But yeah, I mean, I think right now it's kind of like, as you were saying before, it's all about like not, you know, the net of how much you're actually profiting.
Right.
In the bottom line in business, you know, your profit and loss statement is the most important thing. So if you do $40 million of sale equals X amount of commission, but you spend, you know, $200,000 in marketing to get that business versus $100,000, you know, you're not as profitable as somebody that can do the same amount of volume and spend less on marketing. So you're trying to, avenues. And I very much on the same sort of page as you, is like, I'd rather grow slowly and surely and make sure it's going to work than try to do something too quickly and just it all implodes.
Yep. And you've done a great job because I haven't spoken to one agent that's not happy where they are, and you've grown from, I think it was like 450 when I joined agents.
450?
400-ish, I'd say. Maybe it wasn't that much.
Yeah, I mean, Bel Air was the 5th office. I mean, Canton, Timonium, which was Lutherville at that point. Ruxton, which was really small, was the 3rd. Perry Hall was 4th, and then you guys were 5th. But I don't even know if I was at 450 at that time. I think I was like 300. Maybe.
It might have been.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, grow. I'd rather, like, I'm definitely under the mentality of like, if you go too hard too fast and you implode, like there goes everything.
And
like, I want to be here for the long run.
Yes.
I think like
and
having
make
really
people
good.
Happy.
Yeah, and when your customers feel connected with you, they're going to refer you and whatever. If you're passing them along too much to other people to manage them, they may not refer them or you because they don't feel like as the connection that they originally met you. So it's a fine line with like this industry on the relationships. But I mean, the relationships can basically feed you and your family for many, many years if you can do a really good job and follow up and stay connected and be a great like sort of real estate resource through them even after the transaction.
Yeah, it is. And my thing is treat people how you want to be treated. And I always go into appointments and with whether you're a buyer or seller, and I think what do you want as an agent? Like, what would I want as an agent? And I want somebody who's knowledgeable, who I can trust, and who's going to fight for me. And that's what you try to do.
Yeah. Anything like new on the horizon for you coming up this year that you're working on?
So as you know, I invest in real estate. I have these
Yeah.
rentals. We don't have a 401k.
Yeah, we were talking about that
So
with you out as well. So
I just try to
working
save
on
as much money as I
you
can. And
buy
I have
something.
10 rentals right now,
Nice.
residential.
Yeah.
But I want to diversify, and you're probably the person to talk to, get into the commercial world.
Yeah.
Just because I got a call on my way here. I had to call an exterminator to go send it out to a property.
Yeah.
I don't think you get those calls or as many
Yeah,
headaches, maybe.
It's different. It's like more risk in the commercial world.
Yeah.
You know, more risk, more reward maybe. Because the reward maybe is like 5-year leases instead of a 1-year lease every year.
Triple
you know,
net.
commercial world, it's like if you have a tenant, like if I have a tenant in the Timonium office that leaves, like some of those tenants are paying like $8,000 a month.
Wow, yeah.
So like,
That's
you
a
know, if
big
one of
month
those
there, yeah.
leaves, like now I have to soak up $8,000 a month. So it's a little scary. And then like they also leave, then the next tenant may need like work done to the space.
Right.
And they may not have the money to do the work. You know, like you can try to work different things out. Like you do the work, I'll give you a rent credit and all that stuff. But yeah, the commercial world is definitely something where, you know, it's like everything. Like you start and you work your way up. Just like,
Right.
you know, you go from high school to college to the minor leagues to the big
Yeah.
leagues or whatever. It's like,
Yep.
you know, like I used to do the scattered site residential rentals, and I still think they're fantastic because they're easy to sell if you need to sell
Right.
something to raise capital. But if you, you know, have commercial, it's, you know, it's more investment, but it's more 9 to 5 business hours. So yeah, pluses and minuses, everything. So on the horizon for you is to just try to continue to invest in real estate as you go,
Yes.
save for retirement. Yeah, which I was talking about with you, Ada. I think that's such a key thing to do, especially at your age, because like when you finished the timeline, if you get them now, even though you're sacrificing
Right.
your hard-on commissions to just buy a property that you really get no enjoyment out of,
Right.
but if you do it now, they'll be paid off by
Yes.
the time you're, you know, if you do have children or whatever, they're in college or out of college, and then all of a sudden you have like this nice sort of 10 properties and whatever, maybe it's 25 properties or whatever it is by then. Most of them are free and clear, and you're literally like, okay, I'm bringing in X amount of money just off of managing the rents.
Yes.
And then I, you know, can sell real estate, you know, as a hobby, want to, not to, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, you know,
That's the goal.
I think that's great. Yeah, that's a great goal, and I'm on the same path. And I've, you know, been dying to have a beach house my whole life, but I
Have you?
just keep, you know, putting into real estate because.
Where would the beach house be?
Oh, look at you turning the questions back on me. I am keying in on Rehoboth Beach still.
Let's get an office down there.
Well, we're talking about that too. All right.
Really? I just got a place in Ocean City, so I would love that.
Okay, yes. I'm probably, if we were going to do an office, would probably be more like the northern part of Ocean City. All right. Any like places you find motivation, you know, books, you know, Instagram handles, YouTube people, real estate people, like what do you do to stay, like keep you motivated, keep you learning, you know, like we do things like this or whatever, but do you do find other inspiration outside of?
As far as social media, there's not one person I go follow. I'm careful with these gurus, what you listen to.
Yeah.
But just mainly trying to stay ahead of. There's been so many changes in the industry with NAR.
Yeah.
So trying to stay knowledgeable and ahead of that. And social, there's I don't even know their names. There's a few guys I listen to on social media that help me stay ahead of things with the laws and the changes.
Gotcha. Jared James.
Yeah. He's good.
Yeah.
It's like Byron something.
Yeah, Byron Band, Broadcast Media. It's called Byron Lazaro. Yes, I watch a lot of his stuff too. Yeah, he's knowledgeable.
I think whenever I'm scrolling on Instagram, it's all real estate. Anyway,
Yeah. Once you start with Jared James, and they'll all start filtering in. But
Yes.
yeah, they have some good perspectives and kind of keep things sharp and knowledgeable. So, all right. Well, I greatly appreciate your time.
thank you
and
for having me.
I mean,
This was great.
anything that I didn't touch on that you wanted to.
No, I mean, there's no secret sauce. I mean, we've done a good amount of volume last year in the past years, but just treat people how you want to be treated. Be nice to people. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You're building a personal brand. Reputation's everything. So I always say this, like when I was in college playing baseball, coaches always tell you, the scouts are watching when you strike out and how you act.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a bar or restaurant, people are looking at you.
Yeah.
So if you're sloppy or not acting professionally, do they want to use you as their agent to sell their house?
Yeah.
So that's my main thing.
I mean, I came from bartending where I, you know, could shave maybe once every 5 days,
Yeah.
and you know had you know, not the fanciest wardrobe, I guess, ever. But once I got into real estate,
Yeah.
I like realized like I got to clean up my act because like people aren't gonna trust bartender Dave.
Yeah.
You know, they need to trust professional Dave that's serious and going to take good care of them, especially with
Exactly.
the amount of money and the risk and everything they're going to take to buy the house. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Like, I mean, I day in day out think about like how my behavior affects
does.
your reputation. Your reputation affects my reputation.
Exactly.
So we're all sort of interconnected here.
Yep.
And that's an important thing. So I think that's a great way to end it. I really appreciate your
Thanks,
time.
Dave. That's awesome.
Let's go O's.
Go O's.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.